Probably.
Because they're trying to become a better podcaster than you are.
It says
only one way.
It says I have one bar. The crazy thing is I go to my
terrible.
I do. I'm all choppy. I go to my network preferences and I'm connected. Okay, how's that?
About the same. You
sound weird. The thing is, I'm not on Wi-Fi.
Oh, you're hardwired into the computer?
Yeah, I'm hardwired, like I am into your, There, no. I'm better.
You're not.
I'm not.
You're the same.
Good morning.
Have you watched the CrossFit Games documentary?
I have not. Have you?
I've seen the first half. I put a story up yesterday, and I got mixed opinions on it.
Okay, I did see. I watched some show that. Oh, I like your mic up there, like a red rocket.
Yeah, right. I thought you'd like that.
I watched something that CrossFit Games put out yesterday with Sean Woodland, where they talk about like rookies and stuff.
Okay.
And he gives the movie a plug. He says it's a really, really, really good movie.
Sean Woodland says that. Well, he's in half of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of want I want to trust him on it, but like I just don't trust anything that comes out of HQ. Like zero.
Do you have any intention of watching it? Are you going to watch it? I was going to tell you to watch it last night so that we could like talk about it right now, and I wouldn't be the only one.
So you're saying you're saying okay, let's save it. Maybe I'll watch it.
We can do a whole video on it.
And then I'll watch it and we'll milk that for some we'll do some deep dive solid content around it.
An unboxing, if you will.
You know what we should do? We should have it in the background and just mute it and then talk about it. Everyone can watch along.
What is
the live commentary?
Fitness Freak is going live right now for their finals. I'm torn. What's that?
I just saw that too. It's on Morning Chalk Up. I saw that they were live.
What is?
Yeah, I think the only way I saw it was through the Morning Chalk Up. I'm unfamiliar with it.
Well, it looks weird. There's chicks swinging around on 2 ropes right now.
2 ropes.
So it's a show. Can you just play like 4 seconds of it so I can see it?
Yeah.
Do you dare? Or just so Morning Chalk Up is streaming like Ninja Warrior stuff now?
Yeah.
This is something else. What is going on?
It looks like that dude's that dude on the right looks like he's hanging. Oh no, he's just bent over.
Come on.
So, this is some sort of dance collective team.
Okay,
it's a Nike dance team.
Okay, fuck this thing. I don't like the lighting either. Okay, you go over there, Michael, and pull out your floppy dog and have your way.
Says a lot, Michael, if you're torn.
Corbin Bowman's here.
I kind of blew my load on Dave Eubanks already. Andrew Hiller made a video that says, "Who is Dave Eubanks?" And it's I think this guy. I think in some of my other rants, I went off on about him. I said he was the head of judging. I think he's the head of scoring. I'm not sure what the exact or the boundaries are on that. I think Adrian used to be the head judge, and now he moved up into like head programmer. And I thought that maybe Dave Eubanks moved positions also, but I'm hearing he didn't. But either way.
Who's the head judge then?
He was I think the judges. I think the judges are. I think the judges are. I think Chuck Carswell is one of the judges, and I think Todd Widman is one of the head judges, because there's like the adaptive and the masters and the teams, and then the individual. I want to say Chuck is like the King Dick, like the one that's head of the individuals, the one that matters.
All right, his title is King Dick, not head judge.
But it's interchangeable. Synonyms.
Understood. That's right.
But this guy Dave Eubanks is in some position where he goes on the Morning Chalk Up and talks about game stuff aside the great Adrian Bosman. And here's the thing.
Here we go. Round 2.
It's just his thinking is such a mess. His thinking is such a mess. I just want to pull up this one thing, and then this is indicative of everything he posts on his. He's a hot mess. He's extremely emotional. He's extremely woke. Sevi, what's woke mean? Woke means when you lean on the side. when you lean on the side of a good way to think about it is you lean on the side of zero personal accountability and zero responsibility. That would be like that's the 200,000 foot view. You think that you should be taking care of everyone and telling everyone how to think and what to do. You believe in really, really, really big government, daddy government. You're pro BLM, even though it's caused an increase in homicides of black men, melanated men by 34%. You believe you were for forced injections across the entire planet, even though they weren't working, and you continue to push that. You think it's okay to mask little kids. That's not what woke is, but those are some of the symptoms of being woke, not being able to think clearly. You're okay doing more harm than good in order to push your agenda forward. You don't value human life. You don't trust human beings. You don't believe in them. You believe in word fuckery. And that's what I'm going to get into here. And then I'm kind of going to leave Dave alone. Here's my concern. You have people coming from the Mayhem Empire. And I don't really care, but bear with me. I'm pretending to be a journalist. You have people coming from the Mayhem Empire. I don't know how many are going to the games, 50, 100. We have a guy who's super charismatic, who's super open with his life, who stands on his dad's porch with his dad and shoots bow and arrows and guns. He's adopted 3 or 4 kids, and he's openly believes in God. And this guy, who's the head of scoring, is openly against God, hates God, and hates people who believe in God. He's openly
how do you know that?
It's on there, buddy. It's on. You go to his Facebook page and look at it. Yeah, right. Go to his Facebook page and look at it. It's
carry on.
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you. You want to see? Go ahead, bring up the gun one, real quick, and then we'll do the chicken one.
Did you notice that I didn't put any of the Facebook stuff on my video?
So my thought is this: if you're supposed to be if let's say you did think all of that stuff, and I'm okay, like, go ahead, think what you want. Okay, look at this. So this is a whole argument of things. So I'll give you an example. It says James Mansfield is killed with her car, runs into the rear of a tractor trailer. Since then, all trailers have dot bars on the rear to keep cars from going under them. What he's saying is that someone died in 1967 from hitting the back of a truck, and they made changes. And since then, they implemented these changes to stop people running into the back of truck trailers. What's funny is he left out whether that was effective or not. There's no talk about whether that's effective or not, right? Hey, just so you know, they've been circumcising men for 100 years in this country to stop them from being over-sexualized. And guess what? It's the exact opposite is happening. We have a whole generation that's addicted to porn, and you probably push genital mutilation too, right? I mean, that just shows how flawed his thinking is. There's no talk of whether it was effective to put these dots on the bumpers of trucks. And yet he uses that as an example of something that was done right away. I mean, it's complete idiocy. So he goes down here on the bottom and he's trying to draw a comparison to that 1.5 million people have died since 1968 from guns. And the only way we can solve it, apparently, is through thought and prayers. That's just shitting on religious people. That's facetious sarcasm. And it goes on and on. You can go over to his Facebook page and look at this fucking batshit crazy, fucked up thinking. I mean, it is bizarre. 1982, 7 people died when Tylenol packaging was tampered with. Since then, it takes a PhD, channel locks, and sharp objects to get into a bottle of pills. Well, are you saying, did that stop people from dying from pills? We had over 150,000 people die from fentanyl last year. I mean, it's just such flawed thinking. We don't. But anyway, so let me go back to this thing about. Let me bring up the chicken and the egg thing here real quick too. I appreciate you, Hiller, being an outstanding journalist and leading me to this. You're a good dude.
Yeah, this is something a little more much, but you keep going. Have your show, right?
Thank you. Dave MAGA Eubanks. Yeah, here we go. Did you know why some vegetarians eat eggs, though they refuse to eat chicken? So all of a sudden, vegetarians are his authority. They're his highest authority, vegetarians.
You must have watched the Game Changers.
Because they understand that an egg is not a chicken. Oh, shit, Dave. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Vegetarians understand. This is true in the same way that a cluster of cells growing in a uterus is not a person. Oh, I get it. An unfertilized chicken egg is the same as a baby that's 36 weeks in the 3rd trimester in a woman's stomach. And it's okay for vegetarians to eat them. Got it. This is the guy who's the head of scoring at CrossFit. He thinks it's okay to eat babies if you're vegetarian. I know that's not what he's saying.
Are you saying he's a cannibal? We're talking about cannibals at CrossFit now?
I mean, this is just emotional. I get emotional. I don't fucking run to my Facebook and fucking post it. This is okay. So if I'm at the Mayhem Empire, if I'm following Mayhem programming, I switch it. I quickly go to HWPO and order their shirts and put that on because I don't want this guy to know that I send money to a guy who shoots guns from his deck, adopts children instead of aborts them, and prays to God. I mean, Rich is fucked. If you're the Mayhem Empire, you're fucked. You are in big trouble. And this guy Dave Eubanks is going to let you know.
You think he's sitting over there looking at them like, fuck those guys and their guns?
Is
that what you're saying?
I have no idea. I mean, do I think that? Yeah. If I had to bet money, yeah, I would think that. But and he thinks they're dumb hicks and just it's all the fucking. He's from He's up in Northern California in you know where all your neighbors are 100% white, but everyone's got a BLM sign in their fucking yard, and I'm from up there too, and so I know I used to think like that. I understand the flawed thinking. I don't think that I'm sure he's like, oh my God, no, I love Rich. I'm totally open. And he's hugging a tree and doing all the stunts that they do. But I'm really just being more facetious and dramatic. Like, do I really think all of this stuff? No, not even in the slightest. But I'm just pointing out the dipshittery. If let's say this guy was pro-Trump, bye-bye.
Yeah, for sure.
Motherfucking bye.
If you took all those points of view and then just flipped them to the other side,
if you're Bernie Sanders and you believe in free drugs for the homeless, you're good to go. Here's the amazing thing too. Check this out. He works for a company that has the cure to COVID, but yet that company hasn't said it once.
Yeah, but they lack the loudspeaker.
But they have it. They have a CEO.
Do they?
They have Dave Castro. They have Gary Gaines. He works for a company that has the ability to do something positive and save lives, and instead they got people at the top worried about shit like this. And no one from the top is up there like, oh my God, if you just stop eating refined carbs and added sugars, you're 100% safe from this COVID shit. They haven't even said that yet.
Have you heard of semaglutide?
No, but it sounds like something that's part of my the makes the viscosity of my semen, like there's sperm, semaglutide in there, and water, H2O.
It's the new big thing in weight loss.
Oh, semaglutide. No, oh no, yeah, you and I were kind of talking about this, huh?
Yeah, it just makes you not hungry. Actually, it makes you feel like you want to die if you eat too much, so it makes you not want to eat too much.
Well, I think Dave Eubanks might have a really nice body. He doesn't need any semaglutide. Will it help him with his thinking?
You brought up that CrossFit is the cure to COVID, and I was like, I've been listening to this stuff and how it's a miraculous miracle drug and how everyone's jumping on it. I'm trying to steer the conversation away from Dave Eubanks, we're gonna kill you, but keep going.
I cannot believe you. You light the fuse. See, I think Hiller's gone woke. He's not taking personal responsibility and accountability for me.
He's got soft.
Oh, do you remember the point of the video that I made was that it's probably making people uncomfortable, and I think that you're seconding that, but like just you're hammering that Rich might be stupid uncomfortable when he goes to the games, and he might not be just uncomfortable knowing that it's scoring over there.
No, Rich doesn't care.
You're saying he's bringing the artillery there just in case.
He's fine. He knows he's gonna win no matter what.
Rich Senior's coming with a bow just in case.
I'm thinking, and I don't know, I haven't spoken to Rich, but if I'm Rich, I'm like proud of all that shit. I'm like, yeah, I adopted kids. Yeah, I pray to God. Yeah, I shoot guns from the deck.
I mean, I think he is a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I'm proud. I'm proud that he does that.
Why not?
I'm not backing off.
Yeah. Don't back off.
I'm just talking about what I know. I don't know any about that shit. That's your world.
Let's talk about Joyal.
Okay. You talked about him a lot yesterday with Hunter. Hunter didn't seem to very much agree with our opinion, which is that you need to appreciate the fact that he's taking a different. I don't think he understands that everybody in CrossFit, when they pop, they also seem to also lie about the fact that it's like, oh, it's a contaminated supplement. And then I tried to second that with the one video I made, which was the CrossFitter admits PED usage after the B sample had also proven that it wasn't going to set him free.
Right. I do see Hunter's point though, don't you? Like,
I also see Hunter's point.
Yeah.
He still cheated, like, of course, and obviously it helped. Every year he finishes in like the teens at the highest level, and then he finishes 5th, and he won the first 2 events, so they obviously worked.
There's just eventually, if you take the "I'm mad at you, I hate you" route, you have to come back to it. It always ends in forgiveness as you get closer to your death. So, do you want to take the full course, or do you want to just go straight to forgiveness? Might be the right word, but there's a high road here. There's a way to, like, he set himself free by admitting it. We should set ourselves free by accepting it. If we hate him and we're angry with him, then we have to carry that with us. Well, he set himself free. Why would we now carry that hate and that anger around with us? I'm not glorifying him. I don't think we're glorifying him. Or some other people make the presupposition that now he's getting more attention than ever. Well, I don't know if he wants that attention.
And then he might never get any attention ever again.
Good. What? Say it again.
He might never get any attention ever again because of that, though.
Yeah.
So it's just like the peak, and then it's like a stock that just drops off the face of the earth. It's like Dogecoin.
The only people that really have skin in the game are the people that he competed with at that day, at that time. That spots got messed up, right?
Have we heard from anyone other than Dellner?
Well, you know who? I've been chatting with Austin Spencer, and I've been texting with him. But
is he pissed, or is he like?
I don't think he's pissed at all, but I don't know. But basically, before I answer any questions, he basically says he doesn't want to talk about it quite yet, and I understand why. He wants to make sure he's still waiting to see what happens to him. You know, I think he just wants to make sure that he gets to go to the games or doesn't get to go to the games. He just wants to know for sure. And then once he knows that, then I think he'll talk. He's a cool dude. Once I saw his picture, I started having all these memories of hanging with him in Albany. He's a quiet man.
Bones. He's got big bones.
He's built different. He's like rhino material.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's lean.
Austin's got the big beard, right? And his wrists look like the size of my ankles.
Yeah. And just all his features look like they're thicker than your average human beings. His penis is like a tuna can, as I heard.
A tuna can? Have you seen a tuna? You know they're like this, right? I don't think that's something that you want.
I had a friend who's a professional athlete tell me one time his penis was a tuna can. I was like, wow. No, it's not. I don't think it is.
You can't do very much with that. It's like a plug. It's like the thing you put in the bathtub to stop the water. That's no good for anything.
It's like something you trip over.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like, oh Jesus. So yeah, Hunter. I understand where he was coming from for sure. But then did you catch the part in there where he was talking about his buddy in DHEA and he was trying to defend him a little bit?
Yeah,
it's different. It's different. It's like there's not CrossFitters over there trying to say that they're taking over-the-counter supplements, and there was one last year that actually took DHEA. I think she was on the Move Fast Lift Heavy team with Chris Harris, and it was legit DHEA, the exact same thing. And I was like, wait a minute, Hunter, do your research before you defend your buddy.
Hey, is what is DHEA? Is it significant in helping someone? Like if I took it, like would I be all of a sudden be like, hey, my grace time is now sub 10 minutes?
On a very, very basic level, I do think that what he was saying was true, was that it's not like a peptide or a hormone where it's going to have clear advantages, but it's supposed to promote a healthier testosterone level, especially in females.
So it would be like if I bought 12 drinks for a girl at $10 a pop and spent $120 on her, and bought myself 10 drinks at $120 a pop and spent $240. And then someone accused me of sleeping with a prostitute, and I said no. And they said, but you did spend $240. It's like that.
I would say a better correlation to this would be
you can't cancel me. You can't cancel me. Fuck you. Go ahead. Sorry, Andrew, go.
A better correlation would be like you're buying all of these drinks hoping she's going to come home with you, and then she doesn't, and you're pissed. That's how
I got bunk PEDs.
That's about how well I think DHEA works. That doesn't make it any more legal, but Usually anything you can buy at like a vitamin shop or a GNC isn't going to work as well as something that you'll get from a doctor or an underground doctor.
Can you get DHEA at
yeah, you can get on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Christine, I have my grace time is probably 30 minutes, one rep. I haven't done grace in fucking 10 years. I know, but I'm glad you caught that joke. 10 minutes.
Is that the next one? You're doing grace next? You did the 2K row, now you're doing grace?
I did do 20 squat cleans the other day with 135. I hadn't done any squat cleans with 135 in probably, again, 10 years, but I just wanted to like take it out for a test run.
How'd it go?
It was fine. I mean, I did them really, really slow. And I did them. I was doing assault bike in between the reps, but I'm not sore. I'm chill, and I didn't go overhead with it though.
I think you should do grace this week.
Yeah, right.
Come on. How long did the 20 squat cleans take you with the bike? What were you doing?
40 minutes.
So what do you think grace would take you?
I don't know. I don't know.
I bet you could do it in 10 minutes or less for sure.
I just game it 3 a minute.
Exactly. Do one every 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Toby Johnson? Who's Toby Johnson?
Toby Johnson's the guy from Coda CrossFit I think he was on the United team. They had a couple of teams at that, and I know a handful of individuals on the other team because they used to be in the Chicagoland area. And Toby Johnson has affiliation. I think that's who Hunter was talking about. Has affiliation with somebody in Oklahoma or Ohio as well. So he kind of like screwed his business partners in a way. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the tie-in that he was trying to make. And Toby Johnson popped on the drug test along with Jalen Franklin and claimed it was a contaminated supplement. And then after the B sample came back, said that it was no longer a contaminated supplement.
Okay, so he came clean too.
He came clean after 2 times removed, where Joel came clean after 1 time removed and what seemed like a couple of hours. So what I was trying to say was that it took him a couple of steps. Joel did it right away, and the only thing next would be someone to come clean without having popped positive.
Why are these guys getting caught?
Because they're stupid.
Oh, is that really why?
If you were to take something right now and I said it would make you do grace in 2 minutes, you'd be like, oh, of course I'm going to do that. Andrew didn't think I could do it in 10 minutes. And I told you that if you were to take a drug test in a month and they wouldn't be able to check it as long as it cleared out of your system.
Yep, I'm game.
But let's just say that I'm not a doctor and I haven't researched this substance long enough, and it actually takes a month and a half or 2. They're going to find metabolites of that in your urine.
Okay, so that's what you mean by stupid. They haven't done their research, but everything's happening. Everything's happening right.
Everything that they've read is incorrect because all of the studies on the substance they're popping for were shut down because it was giving rats cancer. They gave rats cancer, and they're like, "Fuck this! Why would we do any more studies on this?" And then like the clearance time isn't accurate, so they think that it's going to be in there for a month, maybe a month and a half. So when you hear Jalen Franklin say, "I stopped taking it in March," it shouldn't have been in there. It shouldn't have been in there with what he read, but in all reality, it's going to be in there for 3, 4, maybe 5 months. If they don't fucking know.
If you're over at a girl's house while her boyfriend's gone, and you're doing it with her, and her boyfriend comes home 30 minutes earlier than you thought, and you get caught, it's not that you're stupid, but if you're banging her and you last 90 minutes instead of 60 minutes, so you're there 30 minutes too long, and he comes home and catches you, then you're stupid. It's your fault. What you're saying is that the latter happened to them. I'm just trying to understand it in my world. You're saying that these people just judged the time wrong, that they could have gotten away with it, but they fucked it all up, and the boyfriend came home and caught them.
I would say that in your example, he should have stopped. Like he's like, all right, I've never lasted this long before. I got to cut this off. And he knew better. He knew better in that case. These people don't know better. He's like, oh,
well, maybe he was done and he was in the kitchen eating something. I don't want to give this guy credit for 90 minutes. But,
lingered a little bit.
But either way, he was hanging out.
Yeah, exactly.
Sandwich.
He should have eaten out. Okay.
So, and in terms of everything else that people may or may not be taking, either it's undetectable in my opinion, or they do something like, do you know the testosterone esters? There's a suspension, there's a propionate, there's an enthate cypionate, and then there's even longer types of esters on the testosterones. So if you were to take a testosterone suspension, it'd be out of your system in 4 days max. So you can take it right now. You can take a drug test in a couple of days, gotten all juiced up, and as long as you hadn't taken it in 4 days, you're good to go.
Can I get that stuff at Amazon?
That stuff you can't get off Amazon.
Can I get it on the internet?
In places you probably could find it, yeah.
Where else would you get it?
A doctor.
Oh.
Amazing. A hormone clinic. California hormones.
I'll take the Pfizer booster and 5 grams of the testosterone.
Suspension.
Why are you doing that? Well, because I want to go to Canada and compete and not get caught.
Decanoate. That's right. That's the longest ester of testosterone. That's got like 6-month clearance time.
Hey, do you need a vaccine to go to Denmark? Someone asked me that in my comments the other day. I don't even know what the rules are.
I don't think there's many regulation on it anymore. I was looking it up because I'm gonna do some international travel later in the fall, and there's no vaccine requirement.
If you go to cahormones.com, you're going there in the fall to Denmark?
Not to Denmark, no.
Oh, if you go to cahormones.com, sign up for your free blood work, get your doctor's consultation, use the password Sevon.
I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I feel like I do more advertising for them than you do.
I'm sure you do.
Every time I'm on your show, it's like, oh, hey, Hiller talked about, hey, and there it is. You're welcome. California hormones.
I wore my HillerFit shirt, my no rep shirt yesterday.
Nice
Where'd you wear it?
2 hours and 48 minutes on that programming show with fucking JR and Taylor.
Well, so I haven't listened to that yet. I was watching the CrossFit documentary. How did that go?
That was good.
Did Katrin block me? Somebody sent me something this morning, and I couldn't see who it was from. And
yes, Katrin blocks everybody who's been on this show.
Shut the fuck up.
She hasn't blocked me. She hasn't blocked me.
No, I'm not blocked. I just checked.
She doesn't care. Hey, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the show's. I mean, the show is long, dude.
Yeah, well,
but the numbers are killing it.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was good. There was a lot of great information. It was actually a really nice trip down games memory lane. That's what actually happened.
I think I heard maybe it was either Taylor or JR. Taylor or JR. They were excited about it. I gotta watch it. That'll be something I do while I work out today.
Yeah,
Taylor told me that the show was gonna kill it, and I was like, yeah, right. Fucking 5 people give a fuck about programming, but he's right. It's killing it.
A lot of people. Sevon, we need to educate you. Educate.
I'm learning about decanate and premenstruate and stuff.
Decanoate.
You suspect, Andrew Hiller suspects there are a ton of other athletes that are taking a ton of stuff.
I didn't say a ton. I just said certain things that are undetectable. You know,
can you give me an example?
I can parlay this into the Ben Smith podcast that I listened to yesterday.
Yeah, I started listening to that too. Hey, I like his co-host. Taylor said he didn't like him. I like him.
No, he's doing good now. Yeah, he's doing much better.
What's the dude's name?
Fuck, I don't know.
He was great. I listened to that show too. That was actually a really good show, and I hate steroid talk. But go on, talk to me about steroids.
It wasn't very much steroid talk though. That was just a title. And you know what? People are doing the clickbait thing. I have made a difference. Everybody's clickbaiting. It's pretty funny.
Yes.
It's like PEDs, and then all of a sudden everyone clicks on the Ben Smith show.
Hey, you really want to click bait? Write titties.
You know what? My video for tomorrow just says titties.
Titties, good.
I actually titled one this week. It just says clickbait right there.
I saw it. It's so good.
Liver King and a chicken in a bikini.
In there, Ben Smith said that he believes that there's things that are undetectable as well. The way that he verbalized it was that the chemists are ahead of the drug testers, which is another way of saying they're undetectable.
Jim Lubinsky, the guy who did the 365 Murphs. Hiller needs to start charging for a consultation for people looking.
Hey.
That guy, he pays $200 an hour to talk to. Dude knows his shit.
Can you tell me what you were doing right there? Well, what is this?
The phone is blocked. The live call-in phone is blocking.
Oh, we got a live call-in number. Thank you, Jim, by the way.
The live call-in phone is blocking the writing, so I couldn't see it.
If I do a couple of those, it'll pay for half of what I paid to learn about all of it.
Is there anything you can show us on the internet that Souza can go to that you can show us that people can take that you wouldn't get caught for, but would help you tremendously? Would give me a third lung?
Yeah. You want to give me 2 seconds? You got something to talk about while I search?
Of course.
There we go.
All right.
You fucking no rep the guy at Costco.
Oh, yeah. The shopping cart.
Pretty funny, right?
That was crazy. That was like one of the more intimate stories you've shared. First of all, the people who stole your car tinted your front window.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask. I had that down too. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, yeah, they did.
Did they upgrade
they upgraded it for me. That's what I tried to say. I'm like, I got the car back. It was all fucked up, but they did try to upgrade it. You know why they do this, Evan? You know why they do this?
So you can't see them?
There are separate gangs in the Chicagoland area, all of which steal my exact type of car. It's just like a hot car for them to take. Like Dodge Chargers and Challengers. They tint the fuck out of the windshield so that when they're driving around in the neighborhoods they drive around in, they don't know whether or not it's one of their gang or one of another member's gang, so that they can get right up next to them. And they're not going to shoot the car because there might be one of their own guys in it. I was told this by a couple of cops. I have a couple of sources saying this is why they do it. And the other reason is so that when they're driving around in the city, that the cameras can't see them.
Wow.
Is it a good tint job?
It's decent. There's one spot on the passenger window that isn't the best. So,
wow.
It's actually
dark in
nice,
there. Though. Is it dark in there at night?
It's ridiculously dark. My dad can't drive in it because he can't see it as well as I can. Yeah. He's like, you got to take these off. I can't see. And then we were driving in his car and he almost hit a curb. I'm like, you can't. I'm
surprised you haven't been pulled over by the cops for that. Is that illegal?
It is. And I think I have one get out of jail free card saying they gave it to me like this. I'll take it off. I promise. And you know what? I've got state police plates on my car to like try to ward off anyone who might take it in the future. And I think that cops also might not pull me over as a result.
How did you have state police?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like frames?
Yeah, no. Like I got it's like a heritage thing. It's like in support of the police.
Oh yeah, you know what I used to? Sorry, Daniel, 1 second. You know, I would always go to the police station in Berkeley and give like $50 to the cop fund to get the sticker. Yeah. Daniel, what's up, brother? Tell me tell me what a dick hiller is.
Private chat.
You're such a dickhead, brother.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah, I'm actually glad you guys picked me up on the call. I'm actually a sports physician who's done a lot of research on a lot of these compounds over the past 10 years of my life or so.
You're what kind of physician?
Sports physician.
Okay.
So my main training was in neurology, but I've studied a lot of neuromuscular disorders and developed drugs for different neuromuscular disorders. And it happens to be that a lot of drugs that we've developed have also been obviously used as performance-enhancing drugs by various athletes in different fields. Yeah. Follistatin, myostatin inhibitors, YK11.
That is a myostatin inhibitor, YK11. That's the one, right?
It's more of it definitely targets the androgen receptor, but myostatin in and of itself isn't targeted directly, but it's targeted through the androgen receptor. So it works a little bit differently than just a straightforward myostatin inhibitors that are being studied now. But yeah, a lot
Doctor,
of these
is it true that woke people have less testosterone than is that the problem? They're taking they're taking some testosterone inhibitor. Is that what happens to their thought process?
Well, I actually don't know.
Okay.
I actually don't know. Yeah. Right. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, what can I take that will still allow me to compete in the masters category but will make me stronger than other old dudes?
So, all right. So
but I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get caught.
Just being transparent with you guys, like the reality is that to test all these metabolites, in general, having close friends who sit on WADA and who work in the pharmaceutical industry with myself and work closely with WADA to come up with testing methods to find these drugs in athletes. The challenge is that to run these panels, number one, you need a decent amount of blood. So you wouldn't be able to take enough blood to run all the panels. So the reality is that you're not going to be testing every athlete for all the metabolites. You basically test for the big ticket items and the most commonly used substances. So what ends up happening is that you have a lot of athletes who will use various different compounds, not just the standard steroids like testosterone or things like SARMs or SERMs. They'll use, for instance, a variety of different peptides that will give them an advantage. They'll use different peptides that stimulate growth hormone in different fashions, not ones that are very commonly used.
CJC 192.
Exactly. Yeah. CJC 1295 DAC. Growth hormone releasing peptide 6 or 3. They'll use other things that just simply are just not going to be tested. Now, do they add a significant advantage? Well, I coach a lot of nationally and internationally ranked athletes in different spaces. And I'm not going to mention the sports on this call, but
good call.
With that being said, a lot of athletes do use it. A lot of those athletes end up getting tested fairly often, especially if they're on the USADA list. And a lot of them dope up. But the advantage is not that significant. But when you're at the highest levels, that 1% to 3% difference in sort of peak capacity, whether it's strength or fitness capacity, obviously makes a big difference between, first and 20th, right? So, the margins are so small in that space. So there is an advantage, definitely, but it's not as significant as you would think for athletes at the top level, because you are seeing athletes who are not on these substances obviously outperform athletes who are. So the question is,
how do you know that they're not? What if you're like Hiller and you just think everyone's guilty?
I also don't think everyone's guilty.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to mischaracterize you. I apologize.
It's all right. I'm curious.
I think it's just very difficult, and I mean it's very difficult to get a true answer, because everybody would basically have to participate in an actual trial or a study where you would test for all these metabolites at a certain frequency, where there would be no way for them to beat the test, and you would test for all of them.
What about urine? What about just when you just see tests that are just urine? Are you just like, well, that's fucking pointless?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing goes like with urine, even with the metabolites, like with the way most of these drugs are metabolized and processed and obviously excreted through the kidneys. Like these tests are very sensitive. These things are going to come up. Like it's very unlikely. It's a very unlikely situation to have somebody take a common substance, let's say like a cardarine that you guys were mentioning, or an ostarine, which, I don't even know if I would even bother taking ostarine if I were a competitive CrossFitter or a competitive athlete. I don't think it does that much of a difference. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But even looking at the other compounds, like these things, by the time you come off of the drug, if you're really looking to beat the test, right? Let's say you take them in January, and your competition, you start cycling on in January, and you're done with your cycle at the end of March, and your competition is, let's say, in October. Most of these drugs, if they use a very highly sensitive test, you're going to test positive 6 months later. I mean, I've had an athlete, just to give you an example.
Hiller's calling bullshit on you. Hiller doesn't think that's true. He's making weird faces.
I guess it depends on what he's probably got a couple of compounds in mind.
Okay.
That he's probably true.
Yeah, so there are some compounds that you won't test positive for sure. I mean, if you were on if you're on the non-androgenic,
like an Anavar or something, or you'd be good to go.
Exactly. If you were on Anavar, if you were on Proviron,
if you were doing like a Decadurabolin, which is Nandrolone, or if you were doing
if you're on any of the undecanates or decanates, if you're on equipoise for sure, because equipoise, you will pop 9 months later. I've actually had athletes who have popped with equipoise 9 months later.
Hey, you can't give them something that stops them from popping. You can't give them something like you can't take stuff that normally people would pop for and then give them something and make it so it masks it or hides it.
No, what you do is you
oil change.
What you do is you bribe the weightlifting committees, and then you give them a false urine test.
Wow. Okay. And do you think that happens also?
That's actually according to the reporting, several reports that came out with the in general with the IWF, the International Weightlifting Federation. That's a lot of what happened. A lot of the senior officials there were, according to the reports, the allegations are that they were bribed, and then athletes were able to submit other people's tests.
Wow.
And that's why during a period of time, there was a long period of time where athletes, obviously were hitting monumental records, but they weren't popping. And then later on, with other athletes, they simply just didn't even test the urine samples that they took. And then when they went back and tested them later, they obviously removed those medals from the athletes, later on when they actually tested their real samples instead of somebody else's samples. So, and that's all stuff. That's why obviously Olympic weightlifting in general, I don't know all the details of the investigations, but that's why in general, they've had a lot of issues with potentially being removed from the Olympics because of this type of issue existing within the sport and not being completely addressed.
What ethnicity are you?
Cuban.
Oh, okay. At first I thought maybe you were a Pakistani guy or an Indian guy, but you're a Cuban guy.
No, 100% Cuban. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Cuban.
Hiller's going to show me something I can take that will make it so I'm fitter than Sousa in 6 months, and I want you to that I won't get caught taking because Sousa has strict testing policies at his gym.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, you could take all this.
Can I take this GW0742? Oh, well, it's not a new SARM, but it's just.
I would stay away from that one because that's sort of a different variation of cardering that was made, but it's also shown.
Side effects. Go to the side effects.
I have a huge penis. It's okay if it's a few inches fall off.
Right there.
Well, there you go. Specific substance does not have an impact on.
Oh, I don't need my ventricles fucked with.
Hormones in general.
Okay, and this one fucks with my ventricles. My ventricles are pristine. I don't want anything weird happening.
Yeah, a lot of people have had heart issues. Right there. Some people have had reported heart issues with 0742.
Doctor, what's safer, to take the Pfizer booster or to take GW0742?
Oh my God.
Well, I will actually. So I'll put it this way because
he knows it's a serious question. He knows.
All right, so I'll give you guys an honest response, okay?
Please.
In my role, I develop pharmaceutical drugs, and I've worked for companies and have colleagues who work for companies who have obviously investigated and developed the vaccines. All right. This type of vaccine technology that's used.
And I know you're using the word vaccine very liberally. Go on.
It obviously is a type of drug delivery mechanism that we use for more advanced drugs that are used for diseases with very severe outcomes, meaning they're used for cancers, they're used as immunomodulating therapy for very severe diseases. So when you alter the immune system in this fashion, the persistence of that alteration may last a very long time in the body. So these side effects, in order to really study these vaccines in general, these vaccines take, they take quite a bit of time to study because
You mean you can't just make it in a week? You can't just make it in 2 months?
Yeah. So in general, like I'm a big proponent of like, it just wasn't enough time. So that's why you're seeing that
the largest VAERS report in the history of all of reporting, more than all other vaccines combined. That's why we're seeing that.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of adverse effects, and a lot of them can't properly be evaluated. And you know, I don't want to make any there's things I would have to tell you privately off of this call that I'm not comfortable
That's
with.
Enough for sharing. Me. I get it, man. I get it.
But I just think in general you have to be.
Did you get the shot, doctor?
So I got one of the European shots, which used a traditional vaccine method.
Yeah. So you got a real vaccine. You got a damaged virus. Based on the definition of what a vaccine is, you actually got a vaccine. You didn't have the gene therapy.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. And having worked in gene therapies, I didn't feel comfortable with getting the gene therapy. And the only reason I got it was because I was forced to get it as a leader within the industry.
Don't lie to me, doctor. You've been doing so good. No one held you down. Rape is forced, doctor.
No, nobody held me down. Okay. But I did sit on a COVID task force. So
I thought you were going to say I didn't get raped, but I did sit on a giant cock. But okay, sorry. Okay, I missed. I wasn't. You did work on a COVID task force. All right, I appreciate you. I can't tell you how tickled I am that you called into the show. Andrew thinks the world of me. And the fact that you called into the show, now his head's gonna fucking explode. He's probably when he bones his girl next, he's gonna call out my name. It is strong.
It's real, isn't it?
Yeah. He can't. His girlfriend's gonna be like, that wasn't even a real doctor. He's just having his friends call in to impress you, Andrew. Whatever. Some chicky fucks.
Yeah, that's also true. All right. You can have
I'll give you an example. Like,
please.
For instance, you guys spoke about cartering earlier, right? Or 0742, which is another variation of that with cardiovascular risk. But I think in general, drugs work very similar to cartering, like SR9009, that have been proven to be very effective. And, they thought that would be the cure. Would be the cure for obesity and the cure for, because it would basically, they called it exercise in a bottle when it was developed when it came out of the Harvard research labs. But the challenge with those drugs is that they've yet been able to dial in the half-life issue of these medications. Because with SR 9009, the half-life is 2 to 4 hours. So, it's not a drug people want to take because they have to administer it, several times a day. Right. So I think in general,
they should just put it in a Juul.
Yeah. They should.
That was good. Right. That was good.
That's a good one. I think in general, there's a lot of effective things out there that people take. They take them often, depending on the type of fitness you're looking to acquire, or competitive edge, you may pop for them, but they may not have been the right drug of choice if you were actually looking to get an edge in a particular area. So, for peak aerobic capacity, I would not, if I were somebody who was dabbling in this space, I would definitely not be taking very aggressive or very strong, SARMs in general. I wouldn't be taking like an S23. I wouldn't take a YK11. You wouldn't take Trembolone. These things, I definitely would not take Trembolone unless you're planning on becoming hypoglycemic.
What about tainted? What about tainted stuff? What about people
that does happen?
How can that happen? Like, you're never gonna find semen in my butt. It can't be like, they're never. It's just never gonna be there. You know what I mean, doctor? Yeah. How is it that this fucking guy Joyal, it took one substance, but it's denying that the other substance was in there? It's like, you're not going to find a handful of someone's pubes on my ass and semen. Like, that never. Right, you get what I'm saying? Like, I know what goes on back there. You're going to fragments of toilet paper and poop. That's it.
Yeah. So I'll share this with you. Number one,
I'm adamant about it. The tainted shit is just weird. I'm struggling.
So
but I want to believe Ellie over
at
the Mayhem Empire. I really want to believe her. I do believe her.
So, Savon, it's difficult to know that because, number one, you don't know the levels to which the person pops. So if the person was actively on a substance,
right,
like certain drug levels would reach a certain level within the body, and then you would have to conduct a test at that time and then understand, okay, they're actively on this substance at a like therapeutic dose, right? That's how you test that therapeutic window that's going to have an effect on the body's physiology, right?
Right.
And we use pharmacokinetic analysis. That's the name of that field that we use in order to identify that. So what ends up happening is that in the supplement industry, and I know this because I have friends who own companies in the industry, and they manufacture their products at a variety of different supplement makers throughout the country. And what they do, sometimes in some places that don't actually test their compounds, they will taint their compounds with a variety of different lower cost substances. For instance, like some SARMs, like Ostarine would be a very low cost, a powder that you can add to your supplement that would help to enhance the effects of the supplement. And they do that.
So the supplement is even cheating. I'm selling you creatine, but I put some Ostarine in it so that people start saying my creatine's the best.
Yeah, but
you think that really happens?
Creatine, but some of that actually has been found to happen because there have been athletes that have sent supplements directly from the supplement manufacturer to a testing facility, and the testing facility tested positive.
I'm struggling to believe that. I'm so struggling. Wow.
But hold on, Savon. Hold on. That's not the whole story.
Okay.
That's not the whole story. Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
So this is a very small, because I don't like to paint the whole. You don't want to paint the whole marketplace with a picture of a few companies who are doing this, right? Mm-hmm. So some companies may do this, but the overwhelming majority of companies should be at a nutraceutical facility, and in these manufacturing facilities, they should be periodically testing, and they have to meet certain quality requirements for the purity of the substances that are included in their supplements. And when they meet those thresholds, those companies you don't have to worry about because they've tested, double, triple tested their products, every batch, and that allows them to make that claim that, hey, we produce this supplement at an FDA facility, and the supplement is, the supplement has this level of purity for the substances we noted on the label. So, yes, it can happen at times. Is that the overwhelming majority of the cases? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's a very small subset of companies who have been reported. I obviously am not part of any of these panels, but that have been reported to, when they tested the product independently, the product tested positive for other compounds on top of the ones that were included in their label. So that's not uncommon to see because companies want to get a competitive edge on one another. Now,
I bought a bag of MDMA once. This is many, 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 many years ago. And I had to make it into pills. And I wasn't selling it, but I didn't cut it with anything that was expensive. I think I cut it with flour or something, or just nothing, just something that was white in the kitchen. Salt, sugar.
Shit.
I just can't imagine going out of your way to cut it with something that costs money. But I guess.
Well, if it gives people an advantage, they're going to be more likely to be a repeat customer.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There are Go ahead.
I think what I heard you say right there is that it has been proven in the past that supplements have been tainted. Athletes have proven it. And then we've also, and people don't believe it, but the lawyer will say, hey, look at this case. We can use this to say that you're innocent. It's totally possible. So while it's not happening abundantly, it's been proven to have happened. So it's believable when people put it out into the world the way they put it out. Correct?
Yes. Now, I am going to caveat this with this. If you're in a sport where you're being actively tested for these compounds, for performance-enhancing drugs, then that excuse is bullshit, because you should be buying your supplements from a company that sends their product to 3 separate testing labs, just in case one of them has bullshit tests or weak quality of tests. And they should be coming back to state that the product has all of those things that it says it has. So you may spend a little more money on your supplement to make sure that the product that you're using, has what the label says it has, because it's been triple tested at 3 different labs that are certified. So if you're an athlete, you either should do that or eat a clean freaking diet. But there's absolutely no excuse. I don't care if it's tainted. Like, you should have, yeah.
Yesterday, Hunter McIntyre said something about the fact that these people are essentially cheating to go play rec leagues volleyball. And when I hear people, like, if they're actually taking tainted supplements, all of a sudden I think, well, they're not competing at the level of a Patrick Vellner or Tia Toomey. They're trying to get to that stage, and at which rate they might as well be taking the exact same supplements you would take to go, hey, I'm going to go play some volleyball. It was a pretty good parallel he tried to draw yesterday. They're not taking it seriously enough.
Yeah. And I think that if you want to compete at the highest levels of any sport, like the level of commitment that you put into your training, programming, periodizing your training, and all of the intricacies that go into the training aspects, and then your nutrition, then your recovery, everything that goes into every aspect of what you do. Well, when it comes to your nutrition and your supplementation, it should go into that too, and you should be very cautious, very much aware and of what you're taking and where you're getting it from. And even if you need to take it, because outside of somebody who wants to be a very clean athlete, outside of the traditional substances you would take, like supplements, like creatine, beta-alanine, maybe some L-glutamine, obviously supplementing protein, and a general multivitamin, if that, because you can probably get most of your vitamins in your nutrition. You don't have to be on anything else.
Hey, doctor, sorry, I have one comment. Dick Butter says no one got fucked up on Sevon's Molly. Let me tell you, any person who took my ecstasy, they got naked. So fuck off, Dick. Second of all, doctor, couldn't you have just asked the doctor who was giving you your vaccine to just shoot it on the floor? One of my friends was a Navy SEAL, and when he went through the first time when he first went into the military, he took all the shots. But the second time when they wanted to get him, he's like, "Hey, shoot that on the floor," and the doctor just shot it on the floor. Couldn't you just been like, "Hey, dude, just shoot that on the floor"? I
could have done that, but I have integrity.
All right.
And when
Hiller's wife tells him all the time, just shoot that on the floor. And I think she has integrity too. So let's be careful. Let's not
shoot it somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I really, really appreciate you calling in. I have to go because we had a little family emergency. A dog vomited on the carpet, and I have to run to the store and buy some more Resolve to clean it up. I just got a text from my wife, and that takes priority.
That dog is a monster.
But you are by far the best caller we've ever had.
Yeah,
I hope you'll stay in touch. Remember, you called in my show. I have a feeling Hiller's going to try to hijack this relationship from me. So please be my friend too.
I'll DM both of you today.
I love my Cubanos.
And I will pass along my contact information.
Hell yeah.
Just as long as you keep me anonymous and whatever shit you guys talk about. So
thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. Sincerely.
Thank you.
Good talking to you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. All right, bye.
That was super informative.
That guy's no fucking clue what he's talking about.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that's entirely true. He was good.
He was great.
He was
yeah,
very
that was good. That was cool.
I'm
glad he called. Thank you.
Dude, that show you did, the Nicholas Joel Liver King video where you pull up all the Instagram clips is dope.
You like that?
Yes, I fucking love it. I started screaming at Lauren Khalil, the great Khaleesi, because I want her to do stuff like that.
Where they just kind of clip in random shit.
Yeah, that's the shit. That show would take over.
Mm-hmm.
A show where you're just fucking like talking instead of using clips from movies. I mean, that's cool too, but using clips from Instagram. Oh my God.
Most of those are from TikTok.
And I like, yeah.
No.
And I like the fact of you gave away your method too, how you tagged them as your favorites and collect them, and then later went back. Oh man, the process, the artistic process.
Yeah, now anyone can do it.
Souza, thanks for being here. Love you to death. Hiller, you the man.
Always.
I'll give you a call later on today. Guys, sorry I have to call the show short. That will not happen again, and we will have Hiller.
I see how it is. JR and Taylor get freaking 10 hours, and I get
2 hours and 40 minutes.
They took your whole other back half.
Yes. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. We don't do a show until tomorrow night. I can't imagine being away from you guys that long. I'll beg Souza to fit another show in between now and then. Talk to you guys later.